Brilliant. Now, wouldn't we all love to be able to access the internet anytime, anywhere? Well, in most developed countries, a strong network of wireless hotspots makes this quite possible. But in New Zealand, you're more likely to have to purchase a wireless internet card. Well, here to talk us through our options is breakfast technology test driver Gary Steele. Morning to you, Gary.
Hi, Pippa.
Nice to have you on this side of the couch.
Yes. It feels weird.
Explain to me how it would work if, say, I was in the States. I'd just walk around with my laptop, sit down.
If in the States and other civilized countries where you've got basically wireless hotspots all over the show, and in a city like New York, it's almost like an umbrella where you can just go and sit in a cafe, and so if you're travelling with your laptop, you can just connect, and depending where you are, you have to sign up with a particular area and pay money for it, or a lot of places are free. So New Zealand's not like that.
No, we need attachments, basically.
Well, no, that's not actually true. There are, in fact, a lot of hotspots here, but it's just not well publicised, and there aren't nearly as many. In fact, I've got a list here of hundreds of them.
Okay, we won't go through it.
Believe it or not, there's even 3 in Timaru. I was quite surprised. The Robert Harris, you can just take a computer and
Robert Harris, Timaru.
Absolutely. So it's quite good, but that's for people who, what I would say is that, if you're a serious traveller, if you're a serious computer person, you need it for business, or you just can't stay away from the internet wherever you go, you're going to need one of these,
okay.
a stick.
You've basically got 2 options at the moment, don't you? Vodafone and Telecom.
That's right.
Vodafone is the Vodem.
You've got the Vodem, which came out last year, and it's fine. And then you've got the T-Stick, which is the new Telecom one, and basically they're pretty much the same. But my inclination is more towards the more recent one, which is the T-Stick.
Because basically it's a little more easy to use, is that right?
It's an absolute cinch to set up. And I mean, what's the thing about technology that we all hate? When it comes down to it.
When it's too hard.
When things go wrong, setups are never easy. And in this case, it's just a click and away you go. There's no software to set up at all.
No, in a nutshell, these connect to the mobile network and use broadband.
That's right.
Through the mobile network to give you internet.
They're essentially 3G devices, although Telecom uses a different type of technology, but it's essentially the same. And that's right. They're like using your cell phones or smartphones for internet, and they have the same potential problem, which is that you can easily go over your 1 GB limit.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. And you pay for them in a similar way you would phone, for about $50.
That's right. You take on a plan, and of course, they have specials. The Telecom one's got a special at the moment, but they both the Vodem and the Telecom T-Stick work out to around $50 a month, and that's for a 1 GB limit.
Okay,
that's over 20. That's right, and that's over 24 months, which is a bit.
Okay, so you've got to sign up for a long term. That's the small print. What's 1 gigabyte going to get me if I'm out and about with my laptop?
Well, you basically, if you're on the kind of the necessary stuff like emails and things like that, you could probably send 20,000 emails if you heaps and heaps. The catch is, don't open those big attachments. If you're surfing the net, don't get into games and stuff and watching live breakfast.
Because that is going to send you well over your limit.
It'll send you into orbit. And I've got friends at the moment who are in big trouble through too much use of the Vodem.
Wow, and you can probably quite easily, when you're tippy-tapping away on your laptop somewhere, forget that you're paying for it in that way.
It's easy.
You said about attachments. That means if we say you're out somewhere, you're clearing emails for work, someone sent you something through with photos attached. Is that going to take you out quite a bit?
Anything that requires downloading, and so I mean, if it's better to err on the side of caution and use it as a practical instrument, and just go, okay, I've got to quickly check my emails. I've just here, that, it's a practical device, and you've got to be sensible about it. It's not something where you can just, where you can just sit and do this thing for hours on end.
How long before we will have a setup similar to what they have in New York?
Well, I think it's going to take a while. I mean, broadband here is making inroads, and things are changing very quickly. But 5 years. I mean, maybe we're getting there, and the thing is, go to the telecom site. You can download this list of hotspots.
Brilliant.
And there you go. If you're not a serious user, but you like doing it for fun, and you like having a coffee in a cafe in the morning, you can do that without getting a tea stick. But if you're a serious user, that's right.
Great. Gary, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks very much.
That's Gary Steele, our technology expert.